Hello everyone, it's Lucid Rimmer. In today's video, in the second part of the series, Scalping with TD Sequential, we're going to talk about identifying the trend. Why is it so important? In my opinion, it's important because TD Sequential, as most of the momentum indicators, the setup part of it, is countering the trend. You're buying when the prices are going down and you're selling when the prices are going up. Thus, when we identify the trend and try to look for TD sequential signals, the setup signals towards the direction of the trend, we can be a whole lot more successful using this indicator. There are three ways identifying the trend, the actual trend. You can draw a trend line. You can use Trendlines Pro indicator, which I showcased in the previous videos. You can use EMA, exponential moving average, 200 EMA, 200 period, or you can use the Ichimoku cloud to identify the trend. Ichimoku is somewhat considered to be a complicated indicator, but it's actually not. As you can see, closed and not plotting the other parts of it, components of it. I only plot the Senko span A and Senko span B. This is the Kıvanç Özbilgiç's version of Ichimoku. You can use any other, it doesn't really matter, default settings. We can close these as well and plot these a bit vibrant, more vibrant to identify the trend better. As you can see, now what do we do when the prices are here? We are looking to sell according to the TD sequential. Here we're looking to buy, and so and so. For example, here we have a buy setup, and then a few bars later a bullish price flip, bouncing from the Ichimoku clouds, Senko span B, and breaking the Senko span A, and the last bar touched the trend line that we previously drove from this bottom to this bottom. So we're not manipulating anything to touch here. It did itself, and then we have a swing towards up. This might be really good for you to try, and if you're a beginner trader, especially a scalper, and if you're willing to use TD sequential to trade, I really beg your attention to the trending part of the market when trying to do little scalps, because it might hurt. The losses might not be as big as you think, but a lot of small losses will sum up and hurt a lot. Yes, let's see what EMA is at the moment. Yes, the price is above EMA as well. Let's only look for above EMA price TD sequential signals. For example, here the price is above the EMA, the TD sequential signal is here, our support level is here, the stop line is here. Let's check the stop line, how it's created. Yep, as you can see, you already know that, but when the price is above 200 EMA, I'm not willing to short. When it's below that, I'm not willing to long. When it's just going sideways around the moving average, 200 period exponential moving average, I'm not doing anything. But the breakouts happen above the 200 EMA, and as trying to identify the trend and not countering the trend, we're looking to buy above 200 EMA and sell below 200 EMA. And you can see the bounces of 200 EMA. This is the 3-minute time frame. Let me go to 5-minute and then check for other components? Well, you can, this is the momentum part. So we have one momentum indicator. We are identifying the trend using whether Ichimoku or 200 EMA. So that's the trend part. So what else do you need? You might add a Bollinger Band to it if the price closes below 200 EMA with a TD Sequential sell signal and the highs are touching the upper Bollinger Band. That's where the volatility comes in. Then you might have a good signal to sell actually, and as you can see here, the Senko span B, which is considered to be a support resistance point when plots as a straight line, worked really well here as a resistance, and then this sell signal happened to be quite successful. In the upcoming videos, which I really would love you if you subscribe, because in the upcoming videos I'm going to teach you how to trade these TD sequential signals when you're countering the trend and catching a trend reversal right from the bottom or right from the top. So here we have a TD sequential buy setup above the Ichimoku cloud, and then it goes a little up and pull backs towards this top level of TD sequential, and then gives a quite nice profit, and the risk reward is actually fairly well too, like above 2 at least. And so let's check the EMA here. Yes, for example, here the price closed below the 200 EMA, and then it's a fairly nice profit to have. For example, I wouldn't be willing to buy here or here. I would only be willing to sell and check whether it's a TD sequential sell setup or not when the prices are below 200 EMA. If you know and how aware of the market structure and price action, you can also check for market making higher highs and lower highs in order to catch a buy setup, or you can do the reverse of it, market making lower lows and lower highs in order to catch a sell setup and make a good profit with it. But if you want to scalp with TD sequential and get little pips out of the market, then I strongly suggest you to only look to buy or only look to sell at certain times of the market, because beginners scalpers might think that when they both, and then for example they sold at profit, they might think that it will go down from that point, but the market doesn't treat you like that. It might go even upwards. So sticking to one side might be really profitable and might be really helpful for you to avoid mistakes, and identifying the trend using several tools like this and trading accordingly might be really helpful. In the next video, in the third video of scalping with TD sequential, we will talk about countering the trend and doing counter trend trades and catching tops and bottoms, which is might sound kind of utopic. It actually is, but it's been helpful for me. We will use Fibonacci retracement tools. We will use harmonic patterns, and we will use TD sequential to have a grasp of what we can in terms of counter trend wise. Do not forget to subscribe and do not forget to hit the notification bell. Identify the trend, especially if you're a beginner. Try not to do counter trend trades using TD sequential, and trade accordingly to the stop levels plotted by the indicator. Thank you.